In the bustling heart of Doria Town, where the hum of motorbikes mixed with the cries of traders and the air carried the smell of dust, sweat, and roasted maize, one woman stood apart from the rest, Sofia, the butcher. In a profession dominated by men, she carved her space with precision and pride, her knives flashing like lightning under the sun. Her stall was never empty. From dawn until late afternoon, customers thronged, pushing, bargaining, desperate to take home a piece of her famous meat. Unlike others, Sofia's meat was strangely tender, soft enough to chew without effort, rich enough in taste that even women with failing teeth swore it melted on their tongues. But though the customers celebrated her, whispers grew in the corners of the market. Her prices were too low, her supply too abundant, and no one had ever seen a lorry deliver cows or goats to her stall. One humid afternoon, the gossip reached its peak under the big neem tree where the women gathered to rest. Mama and Ketchy, the shopkeeper with sharp eyes and sharper tongue, sat fanning herself furiously as she leaned towards her friends. "Tell me, who supplies this, Sofia? Every other butcher must wake before dawn to drag cow from the abattoir, yet this woman, with her fine wrappers and quiet smile, always has plenty of fresh meat, as if the ground gives it to her." Mama Patience, known in the market for never missing a scandal, hissed and shook her head. "My sister, I too have wondered. Her meat is too soft, like stew from heaven. Even goat does not taste like that. This is not ordinary." From his corner, old Baba Shehu, the palm wine tapper whose ears caught every whisper in town, let out a grunt. "I have said it before and I will say it again. I hear things in her compound at night. Knives clashing, pounding, and sometimes a cry. A cry that is not from animal throat. No cow cries like that. Mark my words, that woman hides something." The women shivered, but fear could not stop curiosity. Not long after, strange disappearances began to shake Doria Town. At first, it was goats vanishing from compounds, then chickens, then a young boy who sold recharge cards on the roadside. His mother wailed in the street for days, her tears soaking the dust, but the boy was never found. Yet each morning, Sofia's stall remained full of meat, fresher and softer than ever, sold cheaply enough that even the poorest housewives could afford to stew their pots. Greed overcame suspicion, and people bought. But in the hearts of a few, dread grew like a shadow that would not be chased away. Mama Patience, never one to hold her tongue, was the first to voice the thought others feared. "My people, this meat we eat may not be what we think. Too soft, too sweet, too strange. I fear what my tongue has tasted." Some laughed, dismissing her words as jealousy of Sofia's success. But for Baba Shehu and Okan the tailor, the unease turned to resolve. "We cannot let fear sit in our bellies like rotten yam." Baba Shehu muttered one evening, "We must see with our eyes what truly happens in that woman's slaughterhouse." Okan, younger and hot-blooded, nodded. "Yes, tonight, we watch her. If truth hides, we will drag it into light." That night, under a swollen moon that hung like a silent witness, the two men crept towards Sofia's yard. The slaughterhouse sat at the edge of town, away from curious eyes, its walls high and painted with old stains. The smell that floated from it was heavy and sour, not quite the smell of beef, but sharper, like iron and rot mixed together. Heartbeats loud in their ears, the men crouched near a crack in the wall and peered inside. What they saw froze the blood in their veins. Sofia stood at the center of the room, her wrapper tied firmly, her arms strong and steady as she dragged a large bundle wrapped in cloth across the blood-slicked floor. The bundle was heavy, leaving behind a trail of dark liquid. Humming softly, almost like a lullaby, she set the bundle on the block and pulled the cloth away. It was not a cow, it was the body of a young man, lifeless, his eyes staring wide into nothing. With a calmness that chilled the watchers, Sofia sharpened her knife against the stone, sparks flying in the dim lantern light, then raised the blade high. "People love my meat," she whispered, "and I will never let them starve." Baba Shehu and Okan stumbled back, hands pressed against their mouths to stifle their cries. They ran through the night like hunted dogs, not daring to look back, until they burst into the market square where a few late drinkers still lingered. "Abomination!" Baba Shehu roared, sweat pouring down his face. "This woman feeds us human flesh." His voice cracked like thunder, and soon the whole town gathered, torches lit, eyes blazing with disbelief. At first, some denied it. "Impossible," one man shouted, "her meat too sweet to be evil." But Mama Patience stepped forward, her voice sharp with conviction. Evil always comes dressed in sweetness. Did I not warn you? You were licking your plates while the devil seasoned your pots. The crowd surged toward Sofia's slaughterhouse, their feet pounding like drums. They broke down the doors and found the truth laid bare. In the back of her compound, shallow graves yawned open, half covered by earth, bones sticking out like fingers pointing to heaven. The smell of decay filled the night as women screamed and men cursed. Sofia, caught in the center of the mob, did not struggle. She looked at them with eyes too calm for the moment and laughed bitterly. And you call me monster? Was it not your greed that fed me? You wanted meat softer than cow, cheaper than goat, sweeter than lamb. I only gave you what your tongues desired. Look into your own hearts before you condemn me. Her words struck them like stones, but the anger of the town was too fierce to bend. The authorities took her away in chains, though her laughter rang in the air long after her body was gone. Days later, the market still smelled of ashes where her stall had been burned to the ground, and people avoided meat as if it carried curses. Mothers repeated warnings to their children, and elders shook their heads, repeating proverbs at every gathering. In time, the story of Sofia became a tale told in hushed voices, a warning that spread beyond Doria Town. And the moral was carved into memory like a scar. When the price is too sweet, look twice. Evil often feeds where silence lives, and greed blinds faster than darkness.